Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick announcement. Our Jills and Johns are on my right. When you get inside there, on your left, you will have the male side, and on your right, you'll have the ladies' side. And outside is an assembly point. As you get out the door to your left, you will see the assembly point. There's a nice green board there with a group of people, drawn in white, so you won't miss it. Yeah, in a situation of an emergency. Hopefully that we will not experience that. We're starting in 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and we will keep to time. The problem is we do understand that some people have connected online. So we're not going to expect everybody to be here. And the attendance registers there, some will actually be listening online. And I believe we also joined by the Northwest. So during the Q&A session, there'll be some questions that will also be coming from the Northwest and those that will be coming from the Eastern Cape Province. Ladies and gentlemen, those were just the quick announcements I wanted to do so long, but we will start with our program exactly at 10 o'clock. Thanks a lot. Good morning once more. We just waiting for our presenters and the senior manager SSP division, who will be joining us now. As soon as they get seated here, I'll come up front again and do the unveiling. I know you're quite curious. What is this unveiling about? Wait and watch this space. Thank you. Oh, yes, it's exactly 10 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to welcome you all. And thanks for making it here. We understand the weather is not that great, and you also have a very busy schedule, and we really appreciate your presence today. As I did promise that I will introduce the head of Sector Skills Plan Division, and it's none other than Miss Mokwena. Over to you, ma'am. Can you? There she
is. Good morning, Sawubona, Molweni. Yeah, this is the Molweni province, Koyomore. My name is Bundla Mokwena. I'm from the MICT SETA. I'm the Senior Manager for Skills, Sector Skills Planning. I'm here with my team from Johannesburg. We are responsible for the submission and evaluation of your WSP, ATR, PTP, PTR that you submit every year. So we are here in Qeqeba. I hope Qeqeba. Oh, okay. Okay, you forgive me if I didn't say it correctly. I tried. Yeah, we are here to offer support as we do every year, this time of the year. We have made some changes that we'd like to share with you. We also like to welcome those that are new to the MICT SETA as SDFs. This session will be very valuable for you because we take you through our system, and those that are returning, it's a refresher for you. So you can also know what are the updates that are currently on the system. There are also a few issues that we'll be talking to before I hand over to the team. However, before I get into that, maybe let me introduce the SSP team. If you've been lucky enough to speak to one of us, whether on the phone or through email, some of those colleagues are here. So I have Ms. Kanyisa Jack, who will come after me. She's the manager SSP. You can stand. Then we have Karabo Mashele. I'm not sure if you've spoken to her, but I know she normally attends to SDF queries. Can you stand, Karabo? And we have Ben Molokome at the back. Standing, you can stand, Ben. And we have Louis Lebang, who's also part of our WSP-ATR team. It's important for me to introduce them this way so that if you are having any outstanding queries that you might have today, these are the guys you can have a chat with before you go back home. We also have our ICT support. I have Mr. Noko Mujela here in the front. Noko. Thank you. At the back, I have Timothy Chwene. You can stand. And at the back there, we have Ms. Belinda Mabunda, our marketing and comms. They're responsible for organizing the session. So those are the members of our team as MICT SETA who are here to support you. ICT will do a separate demonstration also of the system, reminding you how to onboard, reminding you how to complete the forms, also indicating where the changes are. I would like to also discuss certain things that we think are important for you to note. You submitted your WSP-ATR in 2025 at the end of April. We also had a blanket extension, then you had to submit at the end of May. I hope you used that opportunity. We won't have a blanket extension this year. Some of you submitted your WSP-ATRs, but they are still not approved, whether you are in this room or not, or whether you are away or not. And before I go further, maybe let me acknowledge those that are joining us online. You are most welcome to the session. You are also free to write your questions or comments on the chat box so we can address those. So those that have submitted in 2025 and you still have not received a mandatory grant payment, it means your WSP-ATR has not been approved. At MICT SETA, our stance is that we do not decline you. Other SETAs, in fact, decline you. By the time they evaluate your WSP-ATR and you have not completed what you needed to complete or any little thing that you were supposed to deal with at the time, they will decline you, meaning that they will reject your application and you will not get a mandatory grant. We follow a transformative process, a developmental process where we support you, so we will normally come back to you and indicate we are not able to process this evaluation because 1, 2, 3 is outstanding. It's either the person that signed on the authorization form is not the authorized person, it's either the SDF could have signed where they're not supposed to sign, or if you're an employer with more than 50 persons in your company, or a medium or a large, will require you to submit training committee minutes as an example. If those are not there, we will not go ahead with the approval. Training committee minutes are a requirement by law. If you read the Skills Development Levies Act, if you read the mandatory grant, it is stipulated there. Why it's important to have training committee minutes as part of your application is for us to be sure that you have consulted with the WSP-ATR, as some of you also have official organized labor represented within your workforce. They must be part of that process. If you do not have, you indicate in your application that you do not have organized labor. However, we'll still suspect that you will have a similar committee that is called the Skills training committee that would actually meet and discuss your training needs for the next financial year. So that's why those training committee minutes are also very critical for us. So if you are here and you have not received payment, it means your WSP ATR is still outstanding. You have until the end of March 2026 to correct at 23:59. Anything after that time, you would have forfeited your WSP ATR. So what happens to the 20% that you lost? That 20% goes to the discretionary grant. That is the grant that allows us to offer even more training to learners. So you must know that the law says come the end of March the following year after your submission, if it's still not approved, you forfeit it and it goes automatically into the discretionary grant. Therefore, you cannot come back to us and appeal the submission of your the non-approval or you losing the 20% because you had not acted on our emails, our calls, and our reminders. We'll be issuing final reminder letters in mid-March. Those are the last ones, meaning the team won't call you, the team won't send you an email. We've been doing that since we started the evaluation. So the responsibility is on you to claim your 20%. Failure to submit what is outstanding, then you will forfeit the 20%. We also see this happens a lot with those SDFs that are appointed externally, meaning they are not part of the company, who are appointed as consultants. Sometimes there are changes there, the new one is appointed or the other one went MIA, and companies come back to us thinking that the WSP ATR was approved. Unfortunately, it was never submitted. So it's up to the company also to make sure that the appointed SDF is active on the system. They also are able to check. You also have an option of a secondary SDF if you're a large company or medium company, even though the secondary SDF has limited rights, but they do have access to the system. So it is your responsibility as an employer who signs the authorization form for the WSP ATR that you make sure that there is progress on your WSP ATR submission. So we're also here today to tell you that WSP ATRs for 2026-27 are due at the end of April 2026. There will be no extensions, only in extenuating circumstances, which means that you need to motivate, you need to provide evidence. I was in a lecture hall the other day, I was in a class where they were telling us, where I'm studying, that they don't grant extensions unless if you work at Medupi Power Station and the whole country doesn't have power, they might consider it. So I think the same will apply to you. It must be extenuating circumstances. The legislation does not necessarily approve extensions. It's our internal policy that we've made provision for those extenuating circumstances. However, that decision is not ours, it is the board's decision to make that determination if the reasons you have given are sufficient enough. So if you tell us that somebody has gone on maternity leave, that is not sufficient for us because you knew the person was going on maternity leave, you should have made proper arrangements on time. Also because our system opens early, so we've opened it since the 23rd of January. That will give you enough time to start working on the WSP ATR. That's why extensions are frowned upon. Also because they delay our process, because they still need to go to the board. We need to set up a board meeting. Those are also extra expenses on the SETA, because when a board has to meet, we need to pay board fees. So we discourage extensions by all means, so please try to avoid requesting for an extension as I have indicated, except for extenuating circumstances, which you must motivate for. We have also made changes or updates on the system. The team will take you through. We have also developed or updated our SDF reference manual. The team will also take you through. It's quite interactive. I think you will also enjoy it as a resource for you to go back to anytime you need to refresh or understand the process. Also on the OFO, we are still using OFO version 2021. It says 2021, but it does not mean that it's not the current version. DHET continuously updates, minor updates on the OFO. So every time we open the system, or before we open it every year, we would have included the most current version 2021 of the OFO. So even though it says 2021, don't be misled to think that it's the exact version from 2021. There has been some updates. People have asked us that there are occupations that they don't see on the OFO they want to add. And I said to them, they need to submit as business or as employers, you need to submit the request to us. However, I doubt there is any occupation or that many occupations that are not on the OFO. It's just us not reading or understanding the OFO. The OFO is not meant to have every job that you have in your company in terms of title. It's about occupations. So there might be one occupation that is linked to several jobs. What is critical for you to determine that is go into the OFO and read through the descriptors and the job tasks. You find that what companies normally do, they prefer their own job titles. So the OFO is not about job titles, it's about standardization of occupations. We're moving away from job titles, but occupations. So you might have a different job title, but belong to a specific occupation on the OFO. The OFO also caters for alternative titles. So if you have a job title that will carry an alternative title, but it will still belong to the same OFO code. The OFO also caters for specializations. So you might be in the same occupation, but with a speciality, you will still carry the same OFO code. So that is the whole idea behind the OFO, is standardization. It's not about jobs, it's about occupations. It will be one occupation can be linked to many jobs, as you would prefer in terms of the nomenclature that you would use. So I think it's also important as you are in this session to pay attention to that. And then we will have our ICT team demonstrate the changes on the INMS system, so meaning that they will take you through how to onboard, where the changes are, the different forms, et cetera, et cetera. On that note, I would like to encourage you to submit your WSP ATR. We've seen a growth in the last 3 years in terms of the number of WSP ATRs. I would also like to say that if you listen to the President's SONA about 2 weeks ago, there was mention of sector education and training authorities and the reforms that are in the pipeline. So in the future, it is possible that instead of claiming 20% of your monetogram, you will be claiming 40%. So there is a move to increase that amount. If you've been long enough in this game, you would know that at some point, the MG used to be higher than 20%. And there were reforms, it was reduced to 20%. So they're likely going back to that level for various reasons. Also, if you know that there was a Business Unity South Africa BUSA case against the Department of Higher Education and Training on that process of reducing the MG grant to 20%. One can argue that they're trying to resolve the BUSA case because it's still an ongoing legal matter that has not been resolved. What that would mean for you, it means employers will be forced to also train more within your companies. So there'll be tighter annual training report requirements for you, for us to see that you are actually training your staff and your employees, also that you are bringing access and transformation to the workplaces. On that note, I wish you well. I hope it's a good session for all of us. And good luck with your submissions. They are due at the end of April 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for Ms. Bontle Mokoena. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier on, I did indicate to all of us who are here in the room that on my right, we do have the restrooms. The males would be on the left and the ladies would be on the right. And in a situation or case of emergency, we will find the assembly point. As you get out the door on your left, you will see the point where we should all gather. I did promise, ladies and gentlemen, unveiling. And you know, when you lift the veil, yeah, it's something that people are looking forward to. It's like getting married, you know, you don't know what your wife looks like. And I do believe that you also do not know what your presenter or your master of ceremonies actually looks like, you know? Let me just take you years back. There used to be an advert on TV, and it was more about furniture, and there would be this nice kind of sing-along song at the end, and it went like this: "You've got the angle in the furniture business, Joshua, and time to unveil, ladies and gentlemen." Yes, there we are. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome. And we're welcoming Northwest as well. Yeah, I know some people thought that I looked very young, and now they're saying, hey, this man is very old. Now I will take you, ladies and gentlemen, to the SSP manager, who will actually do the overview of the sector skills planning process. Two things that I learned about SSP that are quite important that you shouldn't miss when you're trying to understand it. It's something called Standard Industry Classification Codes, SIC codes. Get to know about that, what you do in your company. And then there's also another one, Organizing Framework for Occupations, OFO codes. Get to see exactly your job title, what is it that you do, what level are you in, and then you will see they all have different levels, major, all that, and specializations she was talking about. Yeah, it's something to acquire over time, ladies and gentlemen, and we can't all be experts, but as Winkler has said, we've got a team that will support you. So if you're not sure, please give us a shout and we will assist you. I think now it's time for me to call Ms. Kanyesa Jack, who will actually take you through. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
I'm feeling so much pressure speaking after Mr. Nene. My delivery is not that exciting, but I hope that you'll find my presentation very useful and educational. Can you please load it? Okay. So as we have heard, colleagues, my name is Kanyesa Jack. I am the Sector Skills Planning Manager at MICT SETA, and our department is responsible for WSP-ATR submissions, evaluations, as well as the approval thereof. We're also responsible for research, so conducting labor market research based on the WSP-ATR data we would have received from our employers, and we're also responsible for strategic planning based on the outcomes of our research. I just want to grab some water.
Here's water.
Thank you. So yeah, that's what we are responsible for. The data that we receive through this process is really important for us and the work that we do, because it informs the interventions, priority interventions, and what the SETA funds year on year. So we hope that as you're working through your submissions and applications, that you'll be providing us with quality information, relevant information that is representative of your subsectors, so that we're able to plan accordingly for the SETA. In terms of my presentation today, I'm just going to touch on the overall MICT SETA mandate, and this information overall is meant to assist with contextualizing the WSP-ATR process and for you to understand the value of the information that we're receiving and how it fits into our overall mandate as a SETA. I'll also be going through the workplace skills plan and annual training report processes, mainly dealing with trying to provide some insight in terms of those reports that you would be submitting through this process. And then item 3, we'll be trying to tie the WSP-ATR data into our sector skills planning process. So how does that data, or rather how do we make use of the data to inform our skills planning? And then we'll also touch on the organizing framework for occupations and how we use that classification system for reporting purposes as a SETA. And then I'll also just touch on the updated integrated learner management system updates that we've made as a team before we then go into what ICT will be doing, which would be the SDF registration demonstration, as well as the WSP-ATR submission demonstration. And then the last part of our overall presentation for today will then be a presentation from Uluwi, where he'll be taking us through the updated SDF reference manual, which is a resource and tool meant to assist you through the application process. So in terms of our mandate as a SETA, we would know that SETAs are established under the Skills Development Act of 1998, and our key mandate is to facilitate skills development within various economic sectors. So we know that there is a total of 21 SETAs in the country, and each of those SETAs are designated or delegated different sectors of the economy. In the case of MICT SETA, we are designated 5 subsectors, which is the advertising subsector, film and electronic media, electronics, information technology, as well as telecommunications. So any work that we do as a SETA in terms of our skills development interventions and so forth are to capacitate employees and new entrants into the 5 subsectors. And then part or key to our mandate as well is to develop the sector skills plan. And the sector skills plan is basically a document that outlines what the SETA's priority interventions should be, what our occupations in high demand and labor market demands are, based on the information that we receive from the WSP-ATR data, as well as based on the research that we would do as a team for the SETA. And so to tie all of that up, our mandate is to address skills shortages that have been highlighted through the WSP-ATR process and to enhance workforce competencies. So we know that when you identify a shortage, you also then need to identify ways to address that shortage, which is what we do through the discretionary grant and through the disbursement of the mandatory grant to allow for employers to also be able to train on their side while we're also training or facilitating the training process through the interventions that we support through DG. And overall, what we're trying to ensure is to make sure that we have capacitated labor markets or capacitated labor force for economic growth within the country. In terms of the WSP-ATR itself, we have 4 main reports. The first one is the Workplace Skills Plan, which is basically a plan that you would complete for your respective organizations, indicating what the skills needs of your specific company or the companies that you represent as SDFs are. So in that plan, that's where you would detail what your occupations in high demand are in the form of filling out Form 3, which would be our hard to fill vacancies form, or what we previously called the scarce skills form. So that's where you would detail, what the skills needs are, as well as Form 4, which looks at our skills gaps or what we previously knew as critical skills. And then we also have the annual training report. So this is a retrospective report where you are reporting on the training that you would have completed in the previous year. Based on if you would have submitted a workplace skills plan in the previous year, you would then base your annual training report on whatever it is that you would have planned to implement, and then you report against that training. Then we also have the pivotal training report, which is a plan similar to the WSP, but this one is specifically looking at planned interventions for professional, vocational, technical, and academic learning programs, which would be our pivotal programs. And then we also have an accompanying report where you would report, which is the pivotal training report, where you're reporting against the planned training for your pivotal training plan. So those are the 4 main reports that encompass and make up the WSP-ATR submission. As Buntle had mentioned, the due date for the WSP-ATR submissions is the 30th of April each year. And if you require an extension, like she has mentioned, you would need to apply prior to the 30th of April, and that is subject to the SETA's approval or the SETA board's approval. Over and above the WSP-ATR reports themselves, we also have compliance documents that you need to submit together with your applications. We have the authorization form. So to ensure that the WSP ATRs that are submitted are approved by the organization, we then expect you to submit your WSP together with the authorization form. So for small companies, the expectation is that, so companies that are less than 50 employees, the expectation is that you would submit, or rather the authorization form would be signed by the authorizer as well as the SDF. And then for companies with more than 50 employees, so that would be your medium and large companies, you would then need to make sure that the authorization form is also signed by training committee members. So for medium and large companies, we would expect that you have some sort of training committee which basically plans the education and training interventions for that specific company. And so you would have training committee meetings where you discuss what the plan of action is with regards to the organization's training initiatives. And so the authorization form needs to be signed by the members of that training committee, which would include an employer representative, an employee representative, and in cases where there's a trade union, you'd also need a trade union representative making up that training committee, in addition to the SDF. And so the authorization needs to be signed according to that. And then you're also expected to upload your minutes, training committee minutes. If you have a training committee in place, like I indicated, this is a requirement specifically for 50 or more, or rather companies with 50 or more employees. But if you're a small company and you have that, we also welcome that. And then I've already spoken to the extension and what our stance is rather on the extension of WSP-ATR submissions. This is just a trend analysis, but the graph is not showing properly. I think it might just be a little bit of a technical glitch. This is just a submission trend analysis in terms of how we have been receiving the WSP-ATR, so the rate of submission across the years. And we can see that we've been gradually increasing. The number isn't particularly where we need it to be, because I think in total the MICT is made up of almost 30,000 employers, but out of that 30,000, only 2,017 employers are actually submitting WSP-ATRs. But I think this is also an opportunity for SDFs as well to be able to expand their business and offer their services so that we can also increase the number of WSP ATRs, particularly in the Eastern Cape, because we can see out of the 2017, only 63 companies are actually submitting WSP ATRs, and the number is even lower for the Northwest, where only 16 companies are submitting WSP ATRs. So over and above this being a little bit of a challenge for us in terms of making sure that our data is representative, I think, like I said, this is also an opportunity for us to expand our reach, to make sure that we are assisting companies submit WSP ATRs and also be able to claim back the mandatory grant to assist in training costs. So who qualifies for the mandatory grant? So we would know that organizations with a total payroll of 500,000 or more have to contribute 1% to 1% of their overall payroll to the Skills Development Levies Act, rather the Skills Development Levy. And so what we would then do, if you submit a WSP ATR and your submission is approved, you're then able to claim back 20% of that 1% so that you're able to then receive the mandatory grant, which you can then use to facilitate training initiatives in your respective organizations. And so for you, in order for you to qualify for MG or the mandatory grant, you need to be registered with MICT SETA, or I guess any other SETA, depending on where you have been delegated. But in this case, it will be MICT SETA. You need to make sure that your levies are up to date. Obviously, we can't give you back money if you have not been paying the money to us. So you need to make sure that your levies are up to date, and that you employ an SDF, whether it's a skills development facilitator within your organization, or you have an external SDF. And your WSP ATR needs to be submitted within the submission deadline, and it is approved by the SETA. And yeah, that's basically the overall requirements of MG. And then in terms of how the WSP ATR data fits into skills planning, one of our primary sources of data, if not the primary source of data for our research, is the WSP ATR data. So this is some of the information we're able to gather through the information that we receive, or through the data that we receive through the WSP. We're able to get an employment profile. So you would know that one of the requirements of Form 1 of the WSP is the employment profile. So you would detail that in this company there's 5 African males, and they are employed as software developers, and they are situated in the Eastern Cape, eGqeberha, and the majority of them are in the youth category, and maybe 1% is someone living with a disability. So with that information that you populate under Form 1, we're able to then basically build a profile of the type of people that are working in our respective subsectors. And so we know that it's very important for us to have a profile of those people, because it informs us exactly what we should be prioritizing as a SETA. So if, for instance, the data that we were receiving from the WSP was saying that the majority of people are in the Eastern Cape, and most of them are 55 and so forth, if during our discretionary grant allocations, we send all of our resources to the Eastern Cape, when in actual fact we should be prioritizing the Western Cape or Gauteng, we wouldn't be making that much of an impact in terms of our skills development offerings. And our planning would be completely skewed. That's when you also find that you're not seeing any real results with regards to like changes in maybe vacancies or changes in like the economic changes in terms of the economic environment for that particular province. So without belaboring the point, the information that we get from the WSP-ATR data is really important, and it informs a lot of the work that we do as a SETA. Like I said, we're also able to identify what the occupations in high demand are and the skills gaps. So which vacancies are you guys struggling to fill within your respective organizations? And with those vacancies, is it a matter of the geographic location of your company? Is it because you guys are not paying enough? Is it because, no, there's a lack of qualified people in that province, or a lack of experience and so forth? So again, with Form 3 and Form 4, we're able to identify those skills needs and skills gaps. And then I think lastly, one of the other things that's really important, but I think I've already touched on it in my previous slide, is to say that we're able to develop targeted training interventions as a SETA. So part of the reason why our department, the SSP department, is structured in the way that it is, it's to ensure that the SETA takes an evidence-based decision-making process. So we get the data, we do our research, and then after we do our research, we're able to plan strategically using the data that we're receiving from our respective employers. And then once we have a plan in place, that's how we then disperse our different funding mechanisms according to whatever information we're receiving from our stakeholders. This is just the approach that we take in developing the SSP. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I think I've touched on it. And then in terms of the organizing framework for occupations, I think Ms. Mugwena also touched on this. The organizing framework for occupations is a classification system that is used in South Africa to categorize and classify occupations in the labor market. So we know that different companies with the same position call the same position different things. And so the OFO is there to make sure that we speak a common language when it comes to certain occupations, and that there is a standardized way of identifying and reporting on occupations. We know that a lot of the data that we receive, we have to report to the Department of Higher Education. I'm sure you as organizations or respective organizations, you also have your own reporting structures. And so if you're receiving the same data in different formats or using a different language, it makes it very difficult for you to then consolidate that data and then be able to draw conclusions. And so the OFO, when it comes to jobs and occupations and so forth within the country, is just a standard way or common language of referring to positions and occupations. And so, for instance, an occupation you would find, while sometimes people will use the word occupation or position, together with, or alternatively to a job. And so in terms of the organizing framework for occupations, the correct way of understanding the occupation versus a job is that the occupation itself is made up of different jobs or tasks. And so when you try to identify particular occupations in the OFO, you would then also just need to look into what are the different tasks or jobs that make up a particular occupation. So I always make the example to say that, For instance, for me as a research or a sector skills planning manager, which in essence my job is to be a research manager, and as a research manager there are just, whether you call me a sector skills planning manager or research manager, there are just certain fundamental tasks or jobs that I need to perform within the occupation of a research manager. I need to manage the data collection, which is the WSPATR. I need to manage the research report writing, which is what we do with our sector skills plan. And then I also need to sometimes analyze data or manage the process of data analysis. We also then have to come up with recommendations which inform strategy. So it doesn't matter which organization you go to, fundamentally a social research manager, that's basically the job and task that you're allocated, no matter what you call it. So that's basically how we interpret the organizing framework for occupations. And the tool itself, if you go through the Excel, it's quite, if you take the time to just go through it, it's quite informative, and there are clear descriptions that are also highlighted to say, if you're looking at a particular occupation, this is how we describe that occupation. These are the different specializations that are attached to that occupation. These are the jobs that are associated or tasks that are associated with that occupation. And then in terms of this, I think this will be my last slide on the OFO. In terms of the OFO, there's also different categories, or rather it's categorized into 8 major OFO groups, ranging from managers all the way to elementary occupations. So when you're completing or reporting against the OFO, no matter what the title of that person is, if they are a manager in essence, so whether it's a CFO or CEO, or they are an executive, or they're just a middle level, middle range manager, they will be classified under managers. If you are perhaps a cleaner or a gardener, or in those elementary occupations, no matter what your job title is, at major OFO group, your classification will go under elementary occupations. So that's just a way of understanding the 8 different major OFO groups. And then in terms of the updates that we've made to the system, we've made some very minor updates, more to enhance what we already have in existence, to make it user-friendly for our stakeholders, and to also make sure that we are up to date with some of the policy and regulatory requirements that are associated with skills planning. So for instance, the sector skills plan that we produce from the WSPATR data has a framework that is prescribed by DHET. And so DHET, which is the Department of Higher Education and Training, updates the framework maybe every 5 years, sometimes every 2 years, depending on what changes are happening in the environment. And so there was a recent update in 2025, which necessitated us to go and revisit the SSP module and make sure that we're up to date with those requirements. So that's just a little bit of background in terms of why we've updated the system. And also, sometimes we'll pick up something that might be a compliance risk for us, and say, okay, how do we configure the system to make sure that we mitigate anything that might be a compliance risk? For instance, one of the things that we picked up last year is that some of the company details weren't pulling in our WSP-ATR reports. And so one of the requirements that we have now is CIPC documents so that we're able to, if the information isn't pulling on our side, rather than trying to chase down SDFs and company representatives to give us this information, we're able to just go and view your company documents and update it on our side. Even in terms of making sure that we're not dealing with ghosts when it comes to SDFs, we're dealing with alive people, we're now requiring ID documents that need to be certified 6 months within, 6 months, not older than 6 months by the time you submit it. And then we've also updated, sorry. So we've also updated Form 3, which is what we previously called scarce skills. We renamed it to hard to fill vacancies, and there's also an associated new definition, and you're also expected to advise on what are some of the reasons for those hard to fill vacancies that you would have mentioned. But our ICT guys will go through the forms themselves and take you through those changes and how to complete it. We've also updated Form 4, which was previously called critical skills, and now we're calling it skills gaps. And then we also updated Form 12 and included a requirement or a question around change drivers. So just a little bit more information with regards to Form 3 and the updates that we've made. We are no longer calling Form 3 scarce skills. We're calling it hard to fill vacancy. And hard to fill vacancy is defined as a vacancy that an employer was unable to fill within 12 months, or it took longer than 12 months to find a suitably qualified and experienced candidate. So this is in line with the DHET framework, SSP framework. But we also know that in reality, it does not normally take you 12 months to fill a position. And so we've tried to expand that definition on our side to say, let's consider occupations that might take people 3 to 6 months, or 7 to 11 months, and then long-term would be anything between 12 months and above. And then in terms of possible reasons, so we're saying that it's not enough for you to just tell us, oh, I'm short of receptionists. In order for us to know how to then intervene in that space, we need to know what are the possible reasons. Like I said, sometimes you can say, oh, I'm short of receptionist, but it's not that you're short, there's a shortage of receptionists in the country overall, but it might just mean that there's a shortage of receptionists in a specific area, or because of lack of experience in that area, or because you guys are not paying them enough, and so forth. And so that's why we need the possible reasons. And then we also added, which Tim will take us through, an option for you to be able to add more than one occupation and hard to fill vacancy. And then in terms of skills gaps, this is Form 4. This was initially called critical skills, and now we're calling it skills gaps, which refers to skills deficiencies in employees or lack of specific competencies that prevent employees from undertaking job tasks successfully to the required industry standards. So Form 4 is specifically dealing with workforce, or rather existing workforce's skills deficiencies. So if you look at your current employees, what are some of the skills gaps or skills deficiencies they may be experiencing that you may be able to address through training interventions? And so you there, again, need to then specify what are the 3 most common skills gaps, and then we also require that you would then indicate what are some of the education and training interventions that you would prescribe to address those skills gaps. And then in terms of Form 12, so here we've asked a question in terms of requiring you to identify 3 major change drivers within your respective organizations. And then in terms of what a change driver is, we've defined it according to the SSP framework to say change driver is something that is considered as factors changing a sector and causing it to develop in a certain way. So these are factors that may affect skills demand or supply. So for instance, for a long time within our space, in 2020, a key change driver was COVID-19. For a long time, a key change driver was the fourth industrial revolution and still is, but we've been able to zoom into the specific 4IR technologies within the MICT sector. We also have perhaps legislation. We know that we recently, I think it was 2 years ago, where we had a change in government and government administration. That for us was a change driver which affected a lot in terms of our priorities. And so these are all things that we need to take into consideration as we're planning for the SETA and the sector. So we're requesting inputs from you guys. And then I think we did some work around the 4IR technology section, where we are requesting you to rate the extent of use. And lastly, there's a requirement to say, what are some of the emerging occupations, so up and coming occupations that we may not be aware of, that you are aware of as industry, that may have an impact on the labor market. So we don't only want to be reactive and be like, oh, there's a shortage here and there, but we want to also be able to forecast some of the things that are going to happen in the future so that we implement proactive planning from our side rather than being constantly reactive. And so, yeah, those are pretty much all the changes that we've made to the system. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Kanyisa Jack, for that comprehensive presentation you've just done. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you have some questions that you would love to pose to the presenters. We can always start from the one of the Senior Manager, SSP Division, and coming to Ms. Kanyisa Jack's presentations. I think let me allow this time for questions, if there are any. We will have our tea break at 11, and we will be back at 1:15. I just want to check if there are any questions on the two presentations. Well, in the absence of questions, why don't we rather take a tea break now at 5:02 and then be back at 11:10 so that we save time. Is that okay? All right. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's come back here at around 11:10. Thanks then.
switch at the back, so we're gonna switch it. That's why I'm not showing anything yet. And a quick one, sir. I'll be at the back.
I did ask our members to get back, our stakeholders, at 10 past. It's exactly 10 past. I don't have a bell or anything. Maybe if I could be assisted to get my stakeholders from upstairs. Is there anyone who can assist me? Please, sir. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
So 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're resuming with our program, and now I'm going to hand over to Mr. Nakamojila, who will be taking us through the Integrated Learner Management System demonstration. So over to you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Nene. My name is Nogo Mujela. I'm with my colleague here, Timothy Chweni, and the two interns who will be supporting with the system on the floor. Okay, I'll be taking you through on how to register as an SDF and also how to submit the WSP ATR submission for 2026. All right. Okay. First thing first, we need to go to MICT official site. And on your top right corner, there's a stakeholder login. This is where you need to select. There's a drop down there with LMS login submenu. You select the LMS submenu, it'll take you to this screen here. If you're an existing SDF, you can just put your credentials here, username and password. You check, I'm not a robot, then you can log in. But now, if you are a new SDF, you need to go to register button, and it will take you on the sign up page. So here, the most important thing here is to select the role. What you need to do here is to put your first name, last name, your email, the type of ID, and your email. And you can also use the email if you also have the other roles like your LPF and the ETSS and moderator. So for this part, you need to select this one, the SDF roles to submit for the ATF registration. You put your password, you confirm it, and you also check it on the MICT SETA, the terms and condition, and also check on the security part there, I'm not a robot. Then you register, it will take you back to the login. So the password here consists of the 14 characters. Should also put the special characters on top, one capital letter and also one small letter. And also you need to include the numbers on that password. So, okay, we'll go back to login. I'm gonna log in on the system. Right. So now, if you have more than one role on the system will take you to this page. But now, if you have only one role, it will direct you to the dashboard. All right. For this program, we're gonna select the SDF role. Okay. So this is the landing page for the SDF roles. So first thing first, what you see on the dashboard is a counting down. So this indicates the deadline for 2026 WSP submission. On your bottom left, there's an announcement, and on your bottom right, there's if you have the company on process, they will show here. All right. On your top left here, it shows the roles that you log in on the system. Then on your top right here, there's an arrow that indicate when you want to log out on the system. Maybe you're busy and something that disturb you, and you will continue later, or you can just log out here. Then on the question icon, this is where you can put the questions here. You put the title, you also put the questions. You can ask here. There's also the manuals for the systems. The manuals are on the videos, so they are broken into pieces. So if you want to see on how to link your companies, you can just select the linking companies. If you want to capture the personal details, you can just select one of these. So these are all the videos. Okay, just gonna go back. There's also the human icon on your top right. This shows that you have more than one role on the system. If you select here, it will show all the roles that you have on the system. You can also switch if you want to move to LPD for discretional grant, the ETQS for ETK assessors for ETK. Then there's also the white icon at the top right. It shows your password, your reset password if you want to change your password. The profile if you want to update your profile. The hub also take you back to the manuals. All right. So I'm gonna go on your left. There's a menu there for the profile. It shows the personal information here. You need to put all of your personal information and go all down, put all the SDF information. There's questions about the SDF, the name of the employer, and all the experience, the number of years you've been as an SDF, then you can save this. And also have this change password. I think it's the same as the one on your top right, where you can change your password. Just remember the password consists of 14 characters, includes special characters, the numbers, one capital letter and one small letter. Right, there's a SDF document here where we put the document for our SDFs. So the documents here usually are the template for the bulk upload of the employers and the other things. There's SEIS code, there's a user reference manuals, and right, there's the overall document also is also uploaded here. So these are where the internal will push the document that are for SDFs. So I think the most important thing today, we're going to focus on the SDF registrations and the WSP ATR submission. And also have the secondary SDF here if you want to have a secondary SDF. So secondary SDF is anyone who you can appoint to assist you in terms of submitting. But the most important thing here on the SDF part, they can do everything but not to submit the WSP submission. Then the queries here, if there's any question that you have, you can always push them here. I think this one is the same as this one on your top right, where you can just ask the questions. All right. I'll go to the SDF registration. So you can see it has all the previous windows now, but now it also shows the active one, which is for this year, 2026. I'll select it. There's 4 tabs here: the personal details, SDF details, link companies, and the timeline. On the personal details, this is where we put all the personal details. I think the most important thing that we've covered here is to upload the ID copy. So this is one of the features that we've implemented recently. And after you've uploaded this copy, you can always wait here just to confirm that you have uploaded the correct copy. Then once you are done with this personal information, you can save. The system will take you to the next step automatically, which is the SDF details. On the SDF details, there's 4 or 5 questions. The type of SDF, the name of employer, ask you if you have attended the training before, also ask you the number of years as an SDF, check if you have submitted before, then after that you can save. Then the system will automatically redirect to the next tab, which is the linking of the company, the most important one. If you've been you are not the new SDF, say the previous year you have already submitted, it will shows the list of the company years. Yeah. I think I've opened one here, like this one here. So you just have to confirm. You don't have to link new companies. But now if it's first time, or this is the first time you're linking the company, you click this link new company and provide the STL number. Just quickly gonna take one here that I have heavy. All right, so at the top, it will pre-populate the active window. You can change this one. Automatically, the system will select for you. Then thereafter, you can search. Then it will return all the information. Then you can confirm if this information is correct. But now you also need to upload the CIPC document. This one is also the new features that we implemented recently. Then thereafter, if you're sure that this is a correct company that you've searched, you can click this button, the blue button that says please confirm by clicking here. All right. Then once you confirmed, it will appear here at the bottom. So what you need to do, it's still saying the status now, it says completing registration form. So what you need to do is to click the edit. So now when you click the edit, it will show the four, 5, 6 steps: the submission details, the authorizer, the banking details, subsidiary company, if there's any, secondary SDF is any, the submission registration. Right. Go to the first one. So on the submission details, you have to select this drop down. So there's 4 questions here. In which industry this company involved, you'll select here. And the second one is, are you consultant acting for the employer? You'll select yes or no. Number 3 is indicate method of the appointment. You'll select here whether you're appointed by the employer, self-appointed, or nominated by employees. Then number 4, it says select the SDF function from this list. There's drop-down values here that you need to select, the one that suits you. Then you save, it will go to the second one, authorizer, automatically. So on the authorizer part, this is the person who's going to sign the authorization form. So you're going to put the information here, including the email address, their designation, the ID number. Then click save. Once you save this information, they will get this notification that they've been added as an authorizer for this year WSP submissions. Then, right. Then thereafter, once you save, it will move to the next tab, which is banking details. So on the banking details, you provide the bank name, the account type, the account number. Right, you also upload the bank letter. So it says here it must not be older than 3 months. So you upload this, and you can always view here to check if you have uploaded the correct thing. Then you save. The system will automatically move to the next tab, which is subsidiary. On the subsidiary one, if there's any, you're going to punch their SDL numbers, then it will return the information here, the company name, the trading name, company registration number. You also need to provide the number of employees for these companies. Then you can add with the button, the subsidiary company. Right, then once you add it, it will move to the secondary SDF if there's any. Right. On the secondary SDF, you also put their first name, last name, email address, the cell phone number, the ID, type of ID, then you punch the ID. If it's a passport, you can also put the passport. Then also upload this copy here, the certified copy or the passport copy. Then you add the secondary SDF. Once you are done, you move to the last one, which is a submission for registrations. So here you download this letter here. So there's a template already on the system that needs to be downloaded. You download this template and you provide this information here. You put the letterhead of the companies, you include the date here, you put your company physical address, and you leave this information for MICT SETA. You move to the note here at the bottom to say this serve to confirm that we have appointed whoever is appointed as a primary SDF facilitator, or if it is a secondary SDF for our company, the name of the company with immediate effect, then you put the LL number. Then once you are done with this information, you take this document, we convert it to PDF, you come back to the system, you upload using this, the gray button. So once you're done, you can view this and just to check if you have uploaded the correct buttons. So now everything here is going to be tick green. If there's a purple or a cross button, it means that tab is not completed or is not safe. All right. So once you are done, can submit for registrations. So status here, it will change from completing registration form to submitted, right? So once it's submitted, it's gonna go internal now where they're going to do the reviewing approval. They can also return. If it is returned, gonna show with this color to show that it was returned. So if it is approved, it's gonna show with this color to show that it was approved. It can also be rejected. So that's all in terms of registering the SDF. So the last step here is just a timeline to show when you started this whole thing of pushing the registration, SDF registration and WSP ATR submissions. So that's all for SDF registration. So the status here need to be on the submitted. Before we can move to the WSP ATR demo, is there any question based on the SDF registration? All right, thanks. Now we can move to the next one, which is WSP ATR submissions. So once this this application is approved, is unapproved, it will automatically move to the next menu, which is the WSP ATR. So here you see there's different windows here, the previous windows, but the active one, it always shows it with a different color. So what I need to do is to select this window. You'll see the company that you linked on the SDF registration. It will come here and show with the status, with the started status. So what you need to do just to open. So it will show all the forms here will come with a different color, the arrow. So the one with the ticks, it means they are complete. So what you need to do just to verify company details, check everything if it's correct, you have your CP's document and all the information, then you can save. Then you move to the authorizer. If everything is fine, you can also save. Then move it to the next menu, which is the banking. If everything's fine, you can save. So this information is coming from, it's pulling on from the SDF registration. So if there was any subsidiaries that was added, it was also going to pull here to show that there's a subsidiary that is added. So here on the WSP, we have 13 forms. So the new companies are going to submit from 1 to 7, and they jump number 8, they jump number 9, they jump number 10, 11, and they go to number 12 and 13. So the first form is the employer profile. So this is where we add the employer. You can add the employer using the button here, or you can do the bulk upload. So in terms of the bulk upload, you'll have the template. So what you need to do is to download this template. I think to be on the safe side, just name this template form 1 to show that this is the one that you're going to upload on the form 1. Because if you upload the wrong template on the different forms, it will throw the exceptions. So you can just say form 1. Right. So start with the add new profile here. So when you're adding the profile, you start with the of measure. You select one, it's a manager. Then it shows the sub-measure. You select the sub-measure. Then it goes to number 3 with OFO occupation. You select one. Then the municipalities, you can just select municipalities. Then in terms of the male and female here, you can say 5 here. 5 and 5, and also provide the disabilities here. So in terms of this disabled here, this number can always be this plus this one or less. It cannot be more than this, because now you're saying the African male is 5, female is 5, so you cannot say then thereafter their total is more than that. You can have 10 or less. Otherwise, if you put 11, it's going to throw the exception or the pop-up message to say that it's incorrect. All right. For example, now if we can say 10. So it shows the error message to say check the numbers and try to submit again. So it says here the male and female must include disabilities. Disabilities must be specified separately. So now it means this is wrong. You need to put 10 or less. Okay, you can say 1. And also, so this one is going to be the total number of this. So this calculation also apply at the bottom. If we have 10 here on this row, you cannot have the age group of more than 10. For in case now we're saying if it's 11, the system should throw the exceptions because this number is more than this. But now if we can say 10 here, it will go through because the number are less. So now with the bulk upload, the validation are also applied the same. Can just quickly go to the Excel report that we downloaded. All right, just edit. So you select the major group, then you move to the sub-major group, then the occupations, then it will pre-populate the offer code on column D. Then you select the municipalities. Then now go to the same male and female. So you're saying that you have 5 here. African male, you have 5 here. Colored female, you have 5 here. Asian female, already now you have the total of 50. Right, we have 5 white, now you have 20 here. So I think I've missed the column, sorry. Just going to do this. 5 here, the 5 here. So it's already calculating for you to say there's a total of 15. So now you need to specify the disabled here. So on the disabled part now, if you can say it's 20. Okay, this one is validated. So it means we don't have the male disabled. So now it's already calculating that we have 20. So if now we're going to say on the age group we have 25. And say here we can put the correct number here to say 20. Also. And save this. And try to upload this document. Okay, there's also video in terms of how to convert this document to a CSV, but this document can be submitted as Excel or the CSV. I think it was, you can put this, if there's just a lot of columns here to make system more faster. All right, so I'm just gonna put the document, try to upload the document and upload. So you can see that it didn't go through because there was issues in terms of the age groups. So you can see the view bulk upload outcomes. So it does say here to say the age group total need to be equal to all the demographics. So we need to change the forms. So it also indicates the row number here to say on the row number 4, the age group is not correct. So now we can put this to say it's 20 now. So now it does align. So we just need to save this again. Close it. Go back to the system, do the bulk upload. So now it went through because everything does align. So this is how the bulk upload works. So, okay. So now if the employee number is more than 50, the system will show the training provider. It will force the stakeholder to also to add the training provider. At this point, there's 30. I can add 20 or 21 just to have 50 or more. Okay, just. Right, now we have more than 50 employees. Right, it also shows that now you need to provide the training committee. Right, so the training committee consists of the employer representative, the employee representative, and also the last one, which is the training union. Just gonna put the DME data here. This is the last one. Right. Then you go to form number 3. So form number 3, it's about the training budget. Just put the WSP budget here, the NPT budget, then you save. And go to the form, sorry, that was form number 2. This is the form number 3, the updated one. I think previously this form, it was called the scarce skills. So what you need to do here is to specify here if there's any hard to fill vacancies. If there's nothing, you can just say yes and say no, and you save. That's it. All right, I think my system is very slow today. I don't know why. All right, so if you say you don't have any, you can just say no. But now if you say yes, you need to specify here whether you have one or two. Just gonna say two here. Okay, just gonna delete two, or just gonna say three here, just for the system to allow me to add the last one. So this button, it appears based on this number. So if you say 4, it will force you to put 4. So now we said 2, it was already, it got disappeared because it was only, we've implemented 2. But now we say 3, it forces us to put number 3. Right, I'm just gonna put number 3. Select the OFA major, then select the sub major, the occupation, any specializations. Then there's a question here in terms of the intervention. What are the top 3 educational training interventions your organization required to address the identified hard-to-fill vacancies? Then you need to specify here to say whether they are NFQ aligned, and also provide the NQF level if they are NQF aligned. Select number 2, say no, it's not going to require you to provide any. Then number 3, learnership, yes, is NQF aligned. Then you can say the level is number 7. If there's any interventions, you can put there. Then you can also specify if they are NQF aligned. Then there's a question there, what are the possible reasons for this? Then you can select here. Then extended of shortage, you can provide here. Then the last question at the bottom says, are there any plans to recruit from outside the public? You can say yes. If you say yes, to put the question at the bottom in terms of the how many candidates will you recruit in the next 2 years. If you say no, it will disappear. Then you can save. So when you save now, because you provided 3, the button to add got disappeared. Right. Then there's form 4. Also, this is a new feature that we implemented. Previously, it was called the critical skills. Here you can add as much as you can add. So just gonna show you on how to add this skills gap. So OF of major, you select 1, then you select the sub major. Then you select the occupations, you select the specialization. Okay, then it says please specify the most common skills gap in organization. Then you can specify here. Then there's a question here at the bottom to say top 3 educational and training intervention your organization required to address skills gap. Then you can select the top 3 and indicate whether they are NQF aligned or not. If they are NQF aligned, you will have to specify the NQF level. Then you do the same of number 2. Provide this NQF aligned. Then you go to intervention number 3. If they are NQF aligned, if you say no, then the NQF level is disabled. If there's any other intervention, can say here, can provide, then you'll ask you if they are NQF aligned. You can specify there to say yes or no. Then you save. Apologies, my system is very slow today. Don't know if it's my network or. Let's quickly refresh. Okay, it was added, but I don't know why it took so long. All right. Then you can move to form number 5, which is WSP PTP, the annual payroll. So here you just need to specify the total payroll and also to add the number of employees. So previously, I think this is one of the features that we implemented. Previously, you couldn't be able to edit this number, but now we've implemented the functionality to allow it to be editable. Right. Then you save, you move to number 6. The plan training. So this is the same as the one on the form number 1. The structure is the same. You download the template, then you do the bulk upload. The validation are also the same. In terms of adding the trainings, the look and feel is the same as the form number 1. You just need to specify the OFA major, sub major, and occupations. You provide the municipalities, the economic status, then the program type, then you provide the name of the program, then you put the number of the African, male and female. You can say here 10 African, then 10 Indians, then the age group between less than 35, can say 20, then the one with the skill, the senior one, then say 20. So remember, this total number of the male and female should be the total number here, should align with this one at the bottom, so on the age group and the skill levels. So if you say here it's 20, on the age group it also need to be 20, and on the skills level it's going to need to be 20. Then you can save. Then form number 7, it's also the same. You download the template, you do the backlog. It's the same as form number 1. The look and feel also is still the same as the one on the form number 1. Just make sure that you upload the correct template on the correct forms. Because if you upload this form number 7 on form number 6, it's going to break. And if there's issues or there's errors or exceptions, it will bring this button here to show the view upload outcomes or errors. Then you move to form number 8. It's for the existing companies. It's not for the first-time submissions. So it's actual training here. The look and feel is also the same as form number 1. You provide the of major municipalities, economic status, and the number here at the bottom of the female and male should be aligned with the age group and the skills level. And the bulk upload also should be the same. If there's errors, it will bring that errors buttons. also goes to form number 9. So it's also the same. Right. Then remember, this one is it's not for the first time submissions. From number 8 till number 11. So once you're done, you move to the form number 12, the survey part. So here you just need to complete all the information. In terms of the survey, I think here we've added the 4 IR questions. These are some of the new questions that we implemented on the surveys. Then the impact assessment survey. There's few questions that you need to complete. So once you are done, then everything needs to be ticked to show that all the forms are completed. Right. Then you move to the submit WSP. Right. Here you need to print the authorization form. So it will extract the information that was captured on the forms and put it here, and I think it's overlap here. So the authorizer, the SDF, the trade union, and employer representative and employee representative need to sign this and also put the date. And it should be on the PDF format, right? Then after you upload here. We don't have the delete button. If you uploaded the wrong the wrong document, you just need to upload it again. It will replace the previous one, right? If there's any additional document, can always add them here using this add proof of training here. You are allowed to add not more than 5 documents, right? So once you are done, everything needs to be on the tick. If there's any checkbox with the cross here or with the purple color, it means that section is not complete. You need to go back to that form and complete it. And so once everything's green, this submit button will be enabled, and that's when you can submit your WSP submission for 2026. I think that's all in terms of submitting the WSP submission for 2026. If there's any question.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Nakamajala. Now I believe we are expecting Mr. Louis Lebon. Thank you, sir. There he is. It's time for your 15 minutes presentation, of which thereafter we will take some questions, if there are any. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be very overwhelming, but you shouldn't be scared. You will call the office and we will provide you with support. So you will be in front of your laptop and someone will take you through. There will also be sessions that will be organized so that you get acquainted, first of all, to the whole setup, desktop, and then from there on how to navigate around. So don't be scared. I can see some people are like saying, this is formidable. Am I gonna do it? Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I hope you're all doing good. So I just wanted to be sure that you can be on the same page with me. Yes, my name is Louis Lebang, as mentioned earlier on. I'll just be taking you through the overview of the updated, the SDF reference manual. So our existing and returning SDFs, they are fully aware that we had the SDF reference manual previously. So we updated that SDF reference manual so that it can be very much more easier for you to use it, so that it can be much more easier for you to go the processes and the submissions of your WSP and ATR submissions. So I'll just be taking you through what has been changed and what has been added as well, so that you can be able to maneuver through the integrated learner management system. So what I'm going to be presenting here, it's not going to be differ from what our colleagues previously presented. So it's just the alignment of what have been presented as well, and also what you will be doing while you're busy with your SDF registrations and the WSP submission processes. So the first slide has got what has changed. So on this presentation, if you can check it, there's a link there, but I will also be taking you through a different process of a different way of logging in as well. So the slides, it's got what's new and where to access it and why use it. So the ILMS necessitates new navigation support and a more practical, accessible guide for referencing. So like I said, this updated SDF reference manual, it has got more practical processes on how to do things. So when you go through this SDF reference manual, you'll be able to find some videos, the one that is on the website, the SDF reference manual. You'll be seeing the videos on how to do what the ICT team was presenting earlier on. And then where to access it. So I'll just take you through the website where you'll be able to access this SDF reference manual. So you'll just go to, okay, my apologies, I see that you're still on the presentation. Let me end the slideshow so that you can be on the same page with me. Yes. So you'll go to the MICT SETA website, and then it will take you through this. Then once you are here, then you will go to what we do. You will find the sector skills planning. Then you'll go to the skills development facilitator. Then you click on this one, and then the system will load for you and take you to where that SDF reference manual document is situated. Just a moment, the network is a little bit slow. So you will be taken to this page. Then what you do is just, you will go down just a bit. So there you go, you will find your SDF reference manual document. So you will click on it, on this link, and then it will take you through this page. So colleagues, this is the SDF reference manual, the updated one. So this one is the one that is on the website. So this is how you get to this SDF reference manual on our website. And then I will go back to our presentation. And then why use it? The manual represents a fundamental shift in how we support the SDFs. It is organized into 11 comprehensive sections, each designed to build knowledge and capability when navigating the LMS. Like I said earlier on, that this SDF reference manual is just to assist you to be aligned and also to be able to navigate through the integrated learner management system. So I'll also be taking you through those 11 sections on that SDF reference manual to show you which one, what each and every section has on it. So this other slides, it says what has changed. So the manual represents a fundamental shift in how we support skills development facilitators, build with your feedback and design for practical applications. So based on the feedback that we got from the previous SDFs and also the other changes that we have made, so we decided to update this SDFs, and then these are the things that we have changed and we have also uploaded on that SDF manual. So the SDF contains the step-by-step ILMS guidelines. I will be taking you through those step-by-steps. So some of the step-by-steps have been presented by the ILMS ICT team recently, where they were taking you through those WSP forms, each and every form, how you go through that, each and every form, how do you complete those information so that you can be able to submit your WSP and ATR submission in the right way. The short instructional videos where you are able to watch and learn as you work through your submissions and compliances tasks. So this SDF, it has got those short videos. I will take you through those ones. The practical templates and the checklists as well. So I will be able to show you them just now, and the clear explanation, real guidance, not just policy summarizes, designed with the SDF feedback. So this SDF reference manual, it gives you more information. It doesn't just summarize the information and skip and be like, this is the summary for you. So each and every section, it has got the information that you need, where you'll be able to continue with your WSP and ATR submissions and the SDF registrations. So colleagues, allow me to go to that SDF reference manual where I will be able to take you through. So I believe all of us, we saw how to access the SDF reference manual on the website. So I'll just take you through this manual. So this manual, like I said, it has 11 sections. So the first section, it is all about the introduction to skills development. So this sections, it has the definition of the skills development and the purpose of the skills development in South Africa, as well as the SETA mandate. So it is very much important for you to go through this page so that you can be aligned with your MG, and as well as while you're doing your WSP and ATR submissions. Then the second section, it talks about the roles of the skills development facilitator. What are your roles and what is it that you are going to be required to do while you're busy doing your SDF, your WSP and ATR submissions? So this section is very much important for you as an SDF, for you to be able to go through it so that you can be able to know your roles and your responsibilities as an SDF, that these are the things that I need to do while I'm busy doing the WSP and ATR submissions. It also has the requirements and the appointments of the SDFs. So section 3, it talks about the legislative framework. So it is very much important to be aligned to the legislatives. It's very much important for you as an SDF to know those legislations that you need to be able to familiarize yourself with, because everything that we do, we know that we are being abided by law. So you don't want to find yourself doing things that are outside what you need to be doing. So for you to be able to know about the legislative framework, this is the page for you where you'll be able to go through it. It has got the definition of the legislations that have been mentioned there and their aims. So this is in line with the skills development. So it also has the relevance key legislation to the SDFs as well, and why compliance matters. Then section 4, it talks about the workplace skills plan and the annual training report guidelines. It has the introduction and the purpose of the WSP and ATR and the legislative foundation. So just in case you want to know about in details the main purpose of the WSP and ATR, so this is the relevant page for you and the right page for you where you'll be able to go through it and find what needs to be done. And it also has the alignments with the BEE codes as well as the SETA rules for cost inclusions. So it's very much important that you go through this sections, colleagues, so that you'll be able to do the right submissions without any complications or challenges. So the way of registering as an SDF as well, it has been updated on this LMS, where you can be able to go to the website like what the ICT team did earlier on. They showed you how to register yourself as an SDF on the website. So this page as well, it has those link as well where you can be able to just go, and then it shows you how you create your profile as an SDF on the system. And also the requirement documentations. So colleagues, it's very much important to know the requirements while you're doing your SSP and ATR submissions, what needs to be submitted, so that you are not going to be having the delays of your SSP and ATR being approved. So this section, it has the requirements that are needed, the requirements that you need to submit so that you can be able to proceed with your SSP and ATR. The MICT SETA SSP technical support contacts. So this page as well, it has the contact details, which is the email address for each and every colleagues from the SSP unit. So you can also find our details here, where you'll be able to just grab our emails so that you can contact us, maybe just in case you need something to be assisted with. So you'll be able to find our information there, and then we'll be able to assist you. It also has the linking of your organizations as well. And also the other thing that is very much important for you as well, it's the inter-SETA transfer. So this page as well is this section as well, it has got the inter-SETA transfer, how the inter-SETA in and out are done. So it is very much important to go through this page so that you can be able to know what needs to be done if you want to do the inter-SETA in, what needs to be done if you want to do the inter-SETA out. So it has all the processes as well on this page. The mandatory grants and payment schedules. So a lot of colleagues will be asking us about these payment schedules as well. When are their mandatory grants are going to be paid, how? So this section, it has the schedule. It shows you how the mandatory grants and the payment schedules are also being done as well. So section 5, it has the understanding, the organizing framework for occupations, the OFO codes. Our senior manager mentioned earlier on about these codes as well. She alluded about those OFO codes, and also if you can also go to this section as well, it has the purpose of those OFO codes in line with the SSP and ATR processes, and the correct OFO codes as well, and how you are using those OFO codes as well. So for you to be able to know those OFO codes that you need to use as well, so it's very much important that you go through this section as well, so that you will be able to do the right things. And colleagues, section 6, it has the training interventions. So this section, it has the training interventions that you need to align yourself with, the ones that are aligned with the MICT SETA sector skills planning. So this one is a section where you will be able to know about those training interventions that you will need to be focusing on. So it's very much important to go through this. It also has the pivotal programs as well, if you can see. 6.5, it has the training interventions recognized by MICT SETA. As you also know, the subsectors of the MICT SETAs as well into consideration. So it has the learnership, the internship, skills programs, short courses, the work integrated learning, and the bursaries, as well as the pivotal programs on that 6.6. And section 7, the stakeholder engagement. So this page, it has the purpose of stakeholder engagement and skills development, the importance, the internal and the external ones as well. Their consultation, and then we'll go to section 8 that talks about the records management. It has the purpose and the type of records required for skills development. And then if you can see under those columns, it has the organizational records, the employee and occupational records as well. So just in case you want to understand more about this, so this section is for you to go through it. And the tools and the resources, section 9. So on this section, I'll just spend 2 minutes a little bit with you here. So this section, the tools and resources, you are also able to increase your screen, colleagues, if you want to do so on this manual on the website. So this section, it has the tools and the resources that you will be required to use while you're doing your SSP and ATR submissions, as well as the SDF registrations. My colleague, while he was doing the presentation on the SDF registration, he mentioned about the SDF letter of appointment. So I'll just use this template. So this section, it has these templates with it. So you will just go through this. So we have 1 up to 10 tools and the resources that you need to be used on this section. So for instance, if you want to, you want this letter of appointment template, you can just click on it like this, and then this letter of appointment, it will download, because it's downloadable. So you will go on this one, and then you will find your letter of appointment on the other side. And then you can just open it if you want to use it and go through it. So you can see, colleagues, this is the same letter of appointment that you saw earlier on while they were doing the SDF registration. So this SDF, it's very easy for you to use it. And also I will use the inter-SETA transfer form. So when you click on this, so these are also the links when you click on it, but it's only the SDF reference manual that is on the website that does this. So when you click on this, it will take you through to that inter-SETA transfer form. So you will have your form on the site, then you will be able to download it and have it as well. Same applies to all the other tools and resources that I mentioned here. The O4 code spreadsheets, the SETA codes and contact details, the training committee. So you'll be able to click and then you'll just follow what the system is telling you to do. Like for instance, when it says open, and then it takes you to the different sites where that document or spreadsheet it's located. Okay, and then we'll go to the section number 10. Section number 10, it talks about navigating the integrated learner management system. So this is the section where it takes you on how to register yourself on the LMS as an SDF, and then you get approved as an SDF. Once you get approved, then you go through your SSP and ATR submissions processes. Then this section, it's the one that has the screenshots and also the videos. It's very much important for you to also go through this video so that you can be able to understand. So this is the practical process I was referring to on this SDF reference manual. So we realized that a lot of people, they will be attending workshops like this, and then they will see what the ICT are doing. But after this, then they forget the process on how to go through that process when you want to submit your SSP and ATR submissions. So we saw that it's very much important to put those short videos on this SDF reference manual so that when you go through this SDF reference manual, you can also see the screenshot that shows you this is what we do, and also a short video that explains what needs to be done. So for clarity, then I will just click on this video and just see it for yourself. I will click for this one. This one is the employment profile. So it's what Mr. Mujela explained regarding the employment profile while he was doing the SSP and ATR submissions.
All right, so here we have the first form, the WSP PTP Employment Profile to Date section. So over here, we can add a profile with the Add New Profile button. Let's start with doing that. Here you'll begin by choosing your OFO major, as well as the sub-major and the occupation. Then you'll choose your municipality. And here we get to the section where you capture the numbers of people. So if you have 2 African males, you put a 2 in there. And if you have 1 African female, you put the 1 in there. If any of them are disabled, you put the number of disabled people in this category in the disabled box. For colored, you put your colored numbers over here. 5 colored males, 2 colored females, 0 disabled. For Indian, so you have 1 male and 1 female. And white, let's say we have 1 male and 1 female. All right, so now across these values that you have entered, in which age group do they fall? So let's count how many people we have in total. We have 1, 2, 3, plus 5 is 8, is 10.
So colleagues, yeah, this is how you're going to be able to get this. So as you saw, I just stopped this video because you went through the process with ICT as well. So I was just trying to show you that these videos, they do play so that from your side as well alone. Same applies to the WSP, PTP, training budget, hard to fill vacancies. Let me do this so that you can be able to see it.
Form 2, we look at WSP PTP training budget for the active window. Here you just specify your budget.
See. So these are the screenshots and the videos we were talking about. So it's going to be very much easy and accessible for you to be able to go through this. So each and every form, while you're doing your WSP and ATR submissions, it has the screenshot and the videos as well, showing you how you navigate through that process so that you can be able to submit what needs to be submitted. Then section 11, it has the frequently asked questions. So this section, it has the questions that we received previously and the answers as well. Like for instance, what is the deadline for submitting the WSP and ATR? So it has the deadline. So the answer there says the deadline is the 30 April every year. So it's very much important to also go through this last section as well, so that if maybe you have a question that you wanted to ask, you might find the question there and the answer as well that you'll be looking for. And this SDF reference manual, colleagues, it's easy for you to use it. You can be able to search. You can come to this search button where you will be able to search what you are looking for from this SDF reference manual update. For instance, let's say maybe you are looking for I will use what pops up here, anything that goes with the inter-SETA transfer. You went through the whole SDF reference manual, but now you want that section that talks about the inter-SETA transfer in and transfer out. Maybe you forgot which section is, then you can be able to just click on the search button, then you click that word, and then you search the whole book. So this document will search the whole chapters where they are talking about anything that is related to inter-SETA transfer in and out. Then it will just load and take you through. There you go. So you have what talks about the inter-SETA transfer. Then let's say maybe let me just click on this first one. So you see, it took us to section 4 that talks about the workplace skills plan and the annual training. So now you know that where you want to check what the inter-SETA transfer talks about, you know, now you know where the section is. Then you'll be able to go through that section and get the information that you were looking for. And also, Let's do this. So you are able to make notes, colleagues, on this SDF reference manual. So you can come here, as you see my presentation, you come on this part here that talks about add notes. So you can click on this, and then you make notes on this book, and then you save them. And then just in case after that, when you want to see where are those notes that you made, you can come here where it says notebook. So your notes will appear on this other part. And then you are also able to bookmark what you want to bookmark as well on this. And colleagues, this SDF reference manual, it's also downloadable as a PDF document. You are able to get this document as an SDF. I will take you through how to get this document as an SDF. But you must understand that as an SDF, as a PDF document, the process is going to be different. When you download this document as a PDF, having it on your phone or maybe on your laptop, certain processes that you're going to be navigating from are not going to be you're not going to be able to access them. For instance, like videos. So videos are only playing while you are having this document on the MICT SETA website. So you can only play those videos on that other site. But once you download that document as a PDF document, you can only just go through it. You can also see the screenshots are available there. But in terms of playing those videos offline on your PDF document, it's not gonna do that. So I'll just log in. Let me see, I'm not a robot. So for you to be able to download this SDF reference manual, you need to log in as an SDF, and then you come here where it says the SDF documents. Sorry. So once you click on the SDF documents, you will see this, the second one there, it says the SDF user reference manual. So you click on this. There you go. You have the SDF reference manual that we were talking about. You see, colleagues, this is what I took you through earlier on the website. Let me go to that section that I was referring to that talks about this section. You see, colleagues, on this side, what you can only be able to see is the screenshots. So those videos are no longer here. But when you go to the website, like I showed you earlier on, you go to that SDF reference manual, you'll be able to play those videos on the website. But for when you download this document as an SDF, as a PDF document, you will only be able to see the screenshots only. But for videos, you need to visit the website. So yes, colleagues, that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Louis. You always appreciated IT guys. Ladies and gentlemen, and this guy is brilliant. They are super brilliant. Can I take time to brag a bit? Just go to our system, try and search anything, whether it's ETGA or LPD, and you know what happens? That's the brainchild of these guys. Tim, where are you? There is Tim. Noko, Mr. Noko, there is Mr. Noko and Louis. Yeah, these are the backbone, ladies and gentlemen, of our system. And I'm telling you, they are just making it sound so easy. You can't believe that it even adds up for you. So that means that is error-free. And so whatever you're going to submit, no mistakes. Isn't that great? Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you. Now I think we've come to the Q&A session. Just before we then have closing remarks from Senior Manager SSP. I just want to check maybe in Northwest there could be some questions. There was a suggestion that questions could be posted on the chats. Not sure who sees the chats so that they can read them out loud to us. This is that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, great. Sure. Thank you. Would you mind if you... Oh, you've got a mic there. Great. Wonderful. Are there any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
There's no questions on the chats as well.
Nothing on the chats. And no questions on the floor. So that means that the whole session, ladies and gentlemen, was well presented, isn't it? Yes, another round of applause. Thank you. Seeing that there are no questions, I actually have requested lunch to be served, at least to be moved in by 10 minutes. So forward by 10 minutes, that is 10 to 1. I'm not sure if that will suit you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you. And now I must hand over to Ms. Bunke Mukwena for her final remarks. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nene. And indeed, that was a great session. Well done. Thank you so much to everyone who came. At MICT SETA, we take our stakeholders very seriously. That's why we travel where we have quite a reasonable stakeholder base so that we can bring the support ourselves rather than do it online. So that's why we are here. And thank you for coming, and I'm wishing you all of the best with your submissions and your preparations. Your WSP ATRs are due at the end of April 2026. Avoid extensions, they are not welcome. They must be due to extenuating circumstances. And I thank you, all of the best, enjoy lunch.
We're going to be serving lunch upstairs, ladies and gentlemen, so you are more than free to sit and wait here if you so please, or you can go upstairs and that mingle. And, oh yes, yes. We would then request people, the normally is that quick response, oh yes. There is the quick response code, ladies and gentlemen. If you can please just click on that one and then complete that evaluation form and submit for us. Remember, all these changes that you're seeing today are because of this very important 3-minute session. All those improvements, that feedback keeps us going. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the session is adjourned. Thank you. Bye.
stronger.